Welcome to Getting Home Sourced with G. Your one-stop shop for all things real estate. Gianno is your go-to guy with over 25 years of experience in the game, serving up the insider scoop on buying, selling, and investing in two of the hottest markets, Las Vegas, Nevada, and Cabo, Mexico. Whether you're looking to score the perfect home, seal the deal on a sale, or dive into the world of international investments, G's got the tips, tricks, and swagger to make it happen. Remember, in Nevada, the smart choice is the right choice. And when it comes to Cabo, you better go oceanside with Cabo G. If you were looking for a quiet, tranquil show about real estate, this ain't it. Gianno has this thing called passion. Let's unleash the beast. This is Welcome to Getting Home Sourced. And now your host, Gianno.
Hey, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening once again. Welcome to Getting Home Sourced with G. As I'm your host, Gianno, we're going to have a great show for you here today. But before we get into it, I just want to take a moment to send my prayers to all those that were affected by Hurricane Helene last week. As we all know that hurricanes can be very deadly and really cause a lot of damage, both personally and business-wise. So again, I want to take a moment to send out my prayers and condolences to all the families and people that have been affected, because it is a great tragedy here in the U.S. as we always get a lot of hurricanes and storms in the southeast and east coast. So again, for all my listeners on the east coast, I pray for you guys and make sure that everybody's okay and getting through a really, really big mess. So because of that, I want to make this show dedicated today to focus on how, we basically make all of our shows on current affairs. So with that being said, taking into consideration how natural disasters and, in this case now, elections go hand in hand, and how it pertains to buying and selling of real estate, because here in the U.S., as well as internationally, it affects everything. When you have a presidential election, and now you're combining that with natural disasters, it really gets sticky, and we're going to jump into that. So let's get started. So I feel it's very, very coincidental how we have a lot going on at the same time. If you haven't noticed, you have a presidential election here in the U.S., we have earthquakes, we have storms, we have hurricanes, and now we have overseas, we have war going on that's causing a lot of chaos all over the world. And is this really coincidental? I think it's eerie, and is this a cause of concern? Well, yeah, there is a cause of concern. Why? Because all this has a trickle-down effect that pertains from the economy at the top to the insurance companies to public opinion to finance, and then lastly the consumer, which who is that? That's us, right? We're the consumers. We buy, sell, trade goods, the whole nine yards. But property values in most states react negatively to all the things that I just mentioned that are going on. So that's now what happens is that you get people nervous, they panic, and we call that a sell-off in the real estate industry, right? So when you do a sell-off, it's because people are just wanting to just walk away, get out of their situation, and people panic and fear sets in, and now they start acting emotionally instead of rationally. And the purpose of this show is to basically let people know, please don't make emotional decisions. Think things through. That's the focus of the show. And don't let all these outside interference and all these outside situations affect you emotionally, which of course it's an emotional decision. But I just want people to take the time to just think things through. It's important, and I'm going to show you why later on in the show. But for the most part, it's not a good situation when we see insurance company pulling out of coastal states because of these incidences with the natural disasters, the floods, the hurricanes, the storms, the mudslides, and what have you. Especially, earthquakes are big, especially in the West Coast, and you have storms on the East Coast. So big, big, big difference there, right? So with that being said, it's very challenging on insurance companies, and it's very challenging to buy and sell, because now you have to figure out in the state or city that you're in, are insurance companies actually covering the home that you're looking to purchase? So you have to take a moment and think about where you're at, what's going on with your insurance. Talk to your insurance carrier, because again, they're not going to tell you, but a lot of times they just, when your policy comes up for renewal, folks, they're not going to renew you, and it's got nothing to do with you. You could have a perfect record, nothing's going on. You're lucky, thank God. You don't have to put any claims in, and even if you do, the claims are not going to be major. But still, you have to talk to your broker and make sure that the company is still solvent, because a lot of insurance companies over the last couple of years have been paying out billions of dollars on natural disasters, and they're just tired of it. Obviously, they're losing money. So what are they going to do? They're not going to give, home insurance policies, let alone auto insurance policies in certain states and or cities. And I do know from experience that with people that are buying properties from me and they want to try to get home insurance, a lot of insurance companies are wanting to bundle you to where if you're buying a house, they want you to also put your auto in the policy with them. Otherwise, sometimes they're just not going to cover you, period. So they want to get money either one way or the other through both your home and your house, not separating it. They're going to start bundling that. So pay attention to those things that are going to be coming up for all of those that are going to be renewing your insurance policy here in the States nationwide effective January 1st, because that's going to be key. So I want to take a moment and explain about Las Vegas, where I'm based out of, obviously. And of course, for all those that are listening to the show, I am in Las Vegas. So that's where I have my hat and my residency. And thankfully, natural disasters don't really happen over here. The most that we get is basically the after effects of earthquakes that happen in California. And I've been living here 33 years, and I can tell you, folks, that the only major event that we had here was maybe a 5.0. And I've been here 33 years from New York City, and no buildings are falling down here. We have no earthquakes here. We have no storms here. Although every now and then we get snowstorms, which is pretty cool when you get some snow here. Not like an actual storm, but when we get an inch of snow, everybody out here is taking their cell phones out and videotaping snow on the ground, because if the snow's not in the casinos up your nose, it's on the floor outside, right? So when people see snow outside, they're getting pretty excited about it. But in Las Vegas, we're pretty strong over here. But I got to tell you, folks, look, I tell it like it is. This is straight talk here. This is the real deal here, real deal real estate, as I always like to say. And now we're seeing that was brought to my attention through an insurance company, that insurance companies here are getting nervous about Las Vegas because of the auto accidents that we have here, and also the new scamming that we have going on over here, where insurance companies are now talking to brokers saying that there's scam companies that are out there, and maybe it could be anywhere else in different cities, but I know over here they're going after, companies are going after the homeowners that want to, let's say they have a 1970s, 80s, 90s home, maybe even 2000 home. So you're talking about, 25 years or older. And what they're doing is they're getting these companies, they're paying the companies to go read through their policy, give them money to basically flood their home so they can go put a claim in, get the insurance money from the company, and then get a full paid check and basically redo the whole home at the cost of the insurance company. So when that was brought to my attention, I was like, wow, that's crazy, because I would never think in a million years that people would be running around having these other people or these quote unquote scam companies coming in, talking to homeowners saying, hey, you give us a piece of the insurance money and we'll go ahead and cause damage to your home. So now you can go get a check from the insurance company. And now you call up a remodel or somebody that wants to just rehab your home at no cost, because now the insurance company picks it up. So that's a new interesting thing that's going on over here, because, the only time you're going to get flooding in Las Vegas is if you're in a floodplain zone when we get heavy rain here from time to time for the monsoon season, which is in the summer. I just found that to be very, very outrageous. But again, folks, if you're hearing about those things, these companies that are coming in telling people, hey, we can help you out, get your insurance policy to pay claims and whatever, please be careful. Again, This is an informative show. When I get news that hits my desk, I'm the first person to go out there and tell you this is what's going on. And it may be happening in other states because obviously, right now, insurance companies are paying out a lot of money and they're not asking questions because obviously they can't. And so you have to be really heads up on what's going on, right? So, right now, again, I give you a perfect example. My home that I'm looking to do, bathroom, doing a remodel, shower tub. It's like maybe 40 square feet, right? So you have 8 by 5, and I'm getting quotes from 25,000 and up. And I goes, wow, that's crazy. How is it 25,000 to do a bathroom remodel when I'm just ripping out a tub shower? When a lot of those costs and jobs should be going for, like I thought, 16,000 or higher. It's not. It's basically at 25,000. I got like 5 quotes, and I think the highest right now was 30,000. So, I mean, I can understand why people are squeezing on that. And again, because of the high cost of doing a remodel, especially for an older home. Luckily, my home is basically about 18 years old, so I'm pretty fortunate about that. But nonetheless, 25,000. I'm like, wow, that's kind of high end, but that's the going rate, at least in Las Vegas. So the point is, people are squeezing because of the economic climate. And of course, with the presidential election, people are getting nervous. They want to see what's happening. And when you start going outside your comfort zone, it gets a little wonky. And most of us right now don't have a comfort zone, or that comfort zone is shrinking. So, right now, people are doing things that they probably shouldn't be doing, or they're doing things because they feel stressed out and what have you. And that's, to me, folks, you just got to be heads up on what you're doing. But before we go into the second half of our show, let's take a commercial break.
Have you been thinking about a getaway? Do you need a break from the grind? Thinking about hot, sunny beaches and the waves of cool water crashing on your feet? Then get off the couch and call Cabo G on his new toll-free international number, 888-528-2810. Yes, toll-free. What other realtor has a toll-free number for you to call anywhere in the world? Going oceanside with Cabo G will turn your thoughts into action, as Cabo G can tell you the deals in Cabo, Mexico. When in doubt, give Cabo G a shout.
Hey, thank you so much for sticking around as we're going through the back end of our gorgeous show. As I always like to say, we're gorgeous. We're gorgeous. So the whole story over here in a nutshell is about, just let's be smart about the things that we're doing. Again, as a realtor, 25 years in the business, I just want to put out there, I know it's emotional because it's an emotional decision when you're buying and selling property, or when you're putting money into a home, or anything having to do with the house. Just, if I can, be rational about the situation more so than emotional, because when you get your emotions in the way, sometimes you're not thinking clearly. And I know it's easier said than done. I get it. But I just want to share a little story that I had with a client about a couple of years ago, when COVID was kind of winding down, but obviously it took a big effect on people. And what happened was, they wanted to sell their home. They were hearing all the negativity and what have you. And I basically talked them out of it. And usually, as a realtor, a lot of people are like, what are you, nuts? Take the listing, put a sign up, sell it, and help them get something else, and you move on in life. But the point is that they didn't have to sell, but they were told, listening to outside noise and getting emotional and nervous. What happened? They were like, oh, we got to sell our home. I said, no, you don't. So at the end of the day, I talked them out of it, and they were so happy, and they were very grateful. They kept their home, and now 2 years later, they home appreciated about 55,000. What they told me, and they're always thankful, and that makes me feel good, because in 2 years for a home to go up 55,000, obviously, what does that tell you? Home prices are going up, right? So why would they want to sell when I told them that the future is that, at least in Vegas, you're going to have high appreciation value, because that's where everything was going. Sure enough, they were excited, they're happy, and what's the best thing that they could do for make me feel good? They made me part of their, family realtor, and the family was the people that they know and make a great referral connection. And that's what it's all about, folks. I'm not out here to just basically say, hey, I want to sell your home. Yeah, that's what I do for a living. But I also turn down business and I also talk to people to say, is this really what you want to do? Because I want to clear all doubt and get that out of the way. And for that, they were very grateful. And I'm grateful because I feel good about it and I have a clear conscience. And because of that, I have now more referral business from them because they thanked me and appreciated for what I did for them. And now they're thriving and they're happy and life is great. So again, it's not always about buying and selling. If you need to buy and sell, obviously that's why I do the show, because I want to earn your business, but I also want to earn people's trust. And sometimes you don't have to sell, but that's why in this instance they were happy. They didn't have to sell it and they were excited about it. So again, the big news that I have to say is that because they were grateful, now I'm grateful because I get to share a big thing with you, because I want to ask people, how many realtors do you know that have a toll-free number? Because I can tell you right now, brokerages have toll-free numbers, but how many realtors? And as far as I know, both internationally and domestically, nobody. But wait a second. Now, guess what? Now you can call me, instead of Cabo G, Vegas G, you can add on toll-free G. 888-528-2810 is my toll-free number, and 702-528-2810 is my local Vegas number. So basically, I just took the same prefix of my local Vegas number, got rid of the 702, insert the 888, and guess what? Now you don't have to deal with WhatsApp. You don't have to deal with Telegram. You don't have to deal with Facebook and calling me mobile on your phone on all these different applications. No more. Now you got toll-free G. You call me up, 888-528-2810 for those that are overseas, Mexico, Canada, what have you. Now, again, with the U.S., I have an international phone number. As far as when I make local calls, or when I make local calls, they consider Mexico and Canada local for the U.S. But anybody that's overseas in Europe, Asia, Australia, wherever, you call me up. Forget about WhatsApp. You don't need it. Telegram. Just call me direct. You'll love it. And again, 888-528-2810. So again, like I always say to people, remember, I'm here for you. Even though I'm living in Vegas and I'm licensed in Vegas for 25 years, I'm licensed in Arizona for 20 years, Mexico for 2 years. I'm here for you. I want you to know that anything real estate, I'm your source of the source, because think of me as your real estate toll booth. You come to me, you're going to come through me in some capacity, and guess what? No charge, because toll booths you have to pay, but with toll-free G, you don't pay. It's on me, because I want people to feel comfortable about, if you're buying in the U.S., I got you covered. Vegas, Arizona, I have partners all over the states. If you need anything in different cities or states, I got you. If you're in Mexico, I'm in Cabo. Obviously, I get you covered over there. And more importantly, if you're in Europe or anywhere in the Middle East, or if you're in Asia, no problem. We have real estate offices. We got everybody, partnerships all over the place, because again, I am affiliated with the CIPS, which is Certified International Property Specialist, which means I have my contact database for anybody, anywhere in the world. So feel free to reach out. You can also email me, Gianno@VegasHomesource.com. You can also go on my website, which is VegasHomesource.com. And again, you know, my podcast for all those people, please come on. It's very important. I want you to subscribe. And we're doing great. People, I really appreciate you guys taking the time to listen to me. You know, my fan base is growing, which is the whole idea. I want people to listen. I want you to share my podcast with people, because I want them to know what's going on, because it's not about me soliciting business per se. Because yeah, obviously I'm in the business to help you sell and buy a home, invest, and make the smart choices. But I also want to give you the information where there's good and then there's bad. I mean, there's no such thing as everything being all good and rosy. You have to watch out on the back end, and that's what I do. I want to bring the real deal and bring the real deal street talk to you, to let you know that this is where we're at. And I'm going to tell you, if anything comes up, whether it's positive or negative, you're going to be told, okay? So again, I want to thank everybody. Great show. And then moving forward, I'm your source of the source. Reach out. I want you to have a blessed week. Thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate you, and have a fantastic week. Make it successful, prosperous. Love you all. Thank you so much.